Howdy folks, today is Saturday, June 28th. It is 4:44 p.m. and the temperature is an extremely nice 24 degrees Celsius, and I'm here at the Toronto Waterfront Festival. Although I will not be here for long, I just recorded a video from Union Station down to the waterfront, and I passed through this festival featuring a number of tall ships, among various other activities, and a number of food vendors and that sort of thing. But now I shall be going for a walk northwest of here. We're going to be heading up to the Eaton Center, and I think the route I'll take is going north up Lower Sherbourne. Then we'll walk along Front Street through the St Lawrence Neighbourhood. I imagine there'll be a good crowd there. There's a booth for the Canadian Coast Guard. And then from the St Lawrence Neighbourhood, it'll be a fairly short walk north up to the Eaton Center. And I'm hoping to find a patio somewhere in the area. This park here is Sherbourne Common South. And by winter, it's an ice rink, and by summer, a splash pad. And this is Queens Quay East, just up ahead here. If you ever wondered where the 65 Parliament bus started its route, well, here you go. This building over here looks familiar. That's because it was designed by the same gentleman behind Habitat 67 in Montreal, a very iconic building there. I believe his name is Moshe Safdie. Habitat 67 is a rather iconic residential building in Montreal. And this was his first residential building in Canada since then. And I believe he's still alive. He was born in the 1930s, if I'm not mistaken, in Palestine. It's always good when you have projects by internationally renowned architects dotting your city skyline. This building's by Pinnacle here. They're building the tallest building in the country just west of here. But for the next few blocks, there's not going to be a whole lot to look at as we make our way up Lower Sherbourne. A lot of streets south of Front will have Lower preceding their name. There's Lower Simcoe, Lower Jarvis, Lower Sherbourne, and probably a few more that are escaping me. but the term lower is used to denote areas that were once part of the lake and have since been infilled. So we're walking on reclaimed land. This couple goes for it, I'll go for it. If they don't, I won't. I easily could have motored past them. We are trapped underneath the crumbling and decrepit Gardner Expressway. And there's a major new development. It was originally called East Bayfront. I'm not sure what it's going to be called now. That area right ahead. Right ahead, straight ahead. It's going to be a huge community built. Unfortunately, it'll be one of those master plan communities. And this is one of those areas where the connection to the waterfront is kind of bleak and not the best if you're a pedestrian. But traditionally, the area south of here was an industrial area. And underneath the rail corridor we go. And into a neighborhood I once called home, the St Lawrence Neighbourhood. And Sherbourne Street was named, I believe, after a town in England, and that was in the 1850s when it got that name. Before then, it was actually known as Caroline Street. Kind of wish I was on the other side of the street. That dust is nasty to walk through. Soon we'll be crossing the Esplanade, then I'll make a left on Front Street East. And we'll take that over towards Berczy Park, and then I'll start moving north. And in addition to that Waterfront Festival this weekend, the big Pride Festival is taking place, and tomorrow will be a very large parade going up and down Yonge Street.
There's one of those on the 11th floor window of our building. Yeah. And so they make a smaller entrance wall. Maybe watch out behind you, guys.
All right, let's cross the street here. This is one of the nicest streets downtown you could take a stroll on, or at least the south side of it. Look how nice that is. Lots of shade. There's a nice buffer between pedestrians and the traffic in the form of this bi-directional bike lane. There's been some NIMBYs in the area that aren't too fond of this reconfiguration of the Esplanade. But I think Jane Jacobs, who once called this area home, would definitely approve. Well, that might be false information. I know she lived in the annex and she had a big role in the development of this community when she moved to Toronto, but I'm not sure if she actually lived here. But speaking of street names, Front Street coming up was originally known as Palace Street. And it used to terminate to the east right around Sherbourne Street here. That was part of the original grid layout done in the late 1700s. Obviously, Front Street has since been expanded to the east. I am a fan of this building. I love the red brick. I love the fact that so many developers have gotten away from those generic green and blue glass boxes in the sky. That was once an Esso. Those downtown gas stations are a dying breed. Another Esso recently closed in Harbour Village. And another one just north of here is turning into a condo at Church in Dundas.
Do you have a passport?
But now it is west along Front Street. Happy Canada Day. That's coming up in a few days. There's a neat splash of art on that utility box. And after George Street will be Jarvis, and that's where the St Lawrence Market is, home to the city's original City Hall. And in addition to the St. Lawrence Market buildings, this neighborhood also features the Flatiron building, which is quite notable. Unfortunately, it's covered up in construction hoarding, as well as the St. James Cathedral, which is just north of here. And a few other notable spots like the St. Lawrence Hall building. I've always loved walking along this side on Front Street, pretty much between here all the way over to Yonge, or at least just past Church. Yuck. To each their own, I guess. There's the new Northern St. Lawrence Market building. I passed through there during doors open. doesn't look like I'm going to catch the light cycle. And we'll get stuck here at the view on the St. Lawrence Market. And there's some King Street buses which have been diverted south due to the closure of the intersection of King and Church. They're replacing a water main and redoing the streetcar tracks. Just north of front is Jarvis Street, to the south, Lower Jarvis. City Hall quarters are up, and those floors above the main floor. Here's something we don't have enough of, pedestrianized streets. Although fortunately, pedestrian Sundays are back at Kensington tomorrow. This is Market Street. This is such a nice, pleasant stretch to walk along. Could pick up a Koran from that guy. I popped in here with an iced coffee, or for an iced coffee before. It's going to be a popular patio day. Just south of here on the Esplanade, there's a stretch of patios. Oh, that smell of cold beer is mighty tempting. Hopefully that will be me in about an hour. Normally we'd have a pretty iconic view of the Flatiron building, but as you can see, it's all wrapped up. Tavern on the left. It's a somewhat new addition to the area, the Berczy. Photobombing that guy. Speaking of Berczy, just across the street is Berczy Park and the famous dog fountain. I don't think you could replace it with something better if you tried. It's just one of those things that's absolutely perfect for where it is. All right, let's get in the shade a little bit. This is Wellington Street. So we'll connect up to King and Victoria from here. And maybe I'll just slide over to Yonge and we'll head north up to Yonge and Dundas. This is King Street. As I mentioned earlier, the intersection of King and Church is closed, which is just over to the right. It looks like there's a film shoot.
Oh, like, yeah, like 140?
That'll be taking place in the area. If you could tell me what it said in the back of that guy's car, let me know. All right, we'll just walk up Victoria to the next street, and I'll pop over to Yonge. Korean style cuisine. If you know what production they're filming here, do let me know. make a left at Adelaide.
She eats all the tomatoes.
Strawberry chicken.
And it's not just the Queen Street cars that have been diverted to Adelaide, but it's also the King Street cars. All right, we have made it to Yonge Street. There's someone who went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I think that cyclist is trying to tell that delivery rider something about his rear tire. Now it's north up the east side of Yonge Street. We're gonna go all the way up to Dundas Square.
No,
We've got the financial district over on the left. St Lawrence Neighbourhood on the right still. I wonder if Ruby Lou is going to be building one of her new, or opening one of her new department stores there where Saks Fifth Avenue in the Bay once was. She's a British Columbia billionaire who is trying to take over as many leases as possible. Hey, look who's over there again. It's Sapand and Alex. I ran into Sapand yesterday and the week before. I can't seem to shake that guy. He must have planted an air tag on me or something. Although he's too smart of a guy to be using Apple products, so I don't really know. I think you're following me around, aren't you?
Sure, coincidence, like once again. Are you heading to Dundas Square?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm just doing a
Cheers,
pre-recorded.
see you around.
All right, take care. Alex and Sapand. I wonder if he's live. Oh, he is live.
Yeah, I rode 2 snipes in 2 days. I saw him yesterday at the Park Festival and
Oh, they're talking about seeing me. As we arrive at Queen Street.
I liked it.
Oh, I'm saying yours.
That's the Eaton Center on the left.
I got one more.
We're almost there. This is Shooter Street. Here, let's try to make this light. It always helps when other people cross as well.
Like when everybody.
Ben had a lot of money. Don't worry about it. Yeah, okay.
Here's where Nordstrom used to be. A second Italy location is moving in, along with a Simon's. Well, unfortunately, they've got the fountains turned off at Dundas Square. Some kind of weightlifting, busking going on. What does that say? Do a curl, win 100? That's either absurdly heavy or it's rigged in some way that you can't win. But of course, one of their friends will pick it up and do some curls and win, because that's the way those things tend to operate.
You can actually do it more on the right. I don't have moisturizer.
Oh wow, look at how some of these people are dressed up. Genshin Impacts.
No, it's an over.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. I gotta head across the street. I'm here pretty much right when I'm supposed to be. Do let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. I'm gonna head over into the Eaton Center. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Yoink.